On our right now is a place I'd like to point out here. If you're thinking about painting your house, this might give you an idea of what color you might like to paint it. These folks, they just repainted it. They were afraid it was getting a little dull, so they repainted it this spring. The zoning laws are a little bit stricter over on the Canadian side. You can only take down the trees that you need to situate your home. If you're building over here, you can't take down a tree simply to improve your view. Invested in the site work as they do in the home. Back to our left is a more traditional home. That's on Hymes Island. Hymes Island is currently for sale. That home is known as the House of Seven Gables. So that house comes with it. There's 2 or 3 outbuildings, a couple of boathouses. The asking price for the House of Seven Gables at Hymes Island is 4.5 million Canadian. The largest island in the river is Wolf Island. That's a Canadian island, 21 miles long and 9 miles wide. Coming up ahead of us into our left now. Get your cameras ready if you want to get a picture. This is the smallest island in the Thousand Islands. It's known as Tom Thumb. Ahead to the right is the cantilever span of the Canadian Bridge. We're going to be going under the arch span. Yeah, someone owns it. I'm not sure who, but it is owned. It's Canadian. It's Canadian, so they would pay Canadian taxes on it. People do. They just call it the Thousand Islands Bridge. It's all under the same Thousand Islands Bridge Authority. All of them. So there are three types of architecture to the Canadian span of the bridge. You see the cantilever span to the right. We're going under the arch span, and when we come out to the left, you will see the suspension span of the bridge. 7 miles from mainland to mainland. Yep. But that includes, there's about 5 miles of highway. The total distance is 7 miles. This is the Lost Channel that we're coming through right now. And if you look over the side, you're going to see, well, you'll see the whirlpools, little whirlpools, current formations. You'll see how clear and swift the water is. Age of the bridge, 1938 it was built. And the Thousand Islands Bridge was built in 1938. On our left is Georgina Island, on our right is Constance. These are Canadian national parks. They're stepping stones for the bridge, but you can still only get to them by boat because there aren't any roads that lead down. If you look back to the right, you're going to get a nice view of the sky deck right there. This is as close as we get to the sky deck. Hey, there we go. These folks are enjoying their patio now right here to our left. They bought this little island. They built themselves a little patio. They can come over here and picnic when they want. Get a nice view of the Canadian suspension span of the bridge back to our left now. That roadway is 125 feet above the channel of the water. That ends up in Lansdowne, Ontario on the Canadian side. There's a provincial park right there where the bridge comes down onto the mainland. Now we're going to be in the deepest section of the river for about the next 20 minutes or so. This is the Canadian Palisades. The Palisades, the average depth here is about 250 feet. The deepest section of the river is right under the bridge. It's almost 290 feet deep there. Directly ahead of us, that little island is Surveyor's Island. Surveyor's Island is owned by the Wambaugh family of Rochester, New York, and that's the family of the original American owner was Abby Wambaugh's great-grandfather, Abby Wambaugh, the women's international soccer star. Directly ahead of us on the mainland is Eagle Point, and originally the cliffs, the Canadian Palisades, came right out to the end of that point about 25 years ago. They started blasting and dynamiting. They blasted away the whole end of that point, flattened it out, and they built that 15,000 square foot home over there. As we come by, you're going to see, you'll see where the cliff is squared off there. That's where they stopped the blasting and they made enough room for that home. They also built an artificial waterfall over there, and they can run the pump, they can turn the water on and off. You can see right where that red chair is. That's an artificial waterfall, but the water's not running today. All right, I'm going to step back behind the bar right now. If anybody would like something back there, we have sodas and water for $2 a piece. And we also have beer, wine, and mixed drinks for $5. This place coming up on our left-hand side is known as Darling Side. That's still on the mainland of Canada. Darling Side, the original owner was a man by the name of William Darling in the late 1700s, and that square building over the square foundation there, he operated a trading post. It was an outpost of the Hudson Bay Trading Company right there.